Howdy, I'm Matt. No, not. I'm a lesbian. Let's do that again. Howdy, I'm Matt, and in this episode, not one but two wings are inside this package. Now, it did arrive this morning, and I've only literally just got around to getting out to the desk and taking a closer look. Now, before we go any further, those of you which are new here, well, first of all, I'm Matt. Howdy, welcome aboard. And number two, that this is a NAFA product, so this is not a freebie for review. These models which are in here were bought out of my own money for my own abuses. Keep that in the back of your mind on any of the reviews which you see here, is that I've bought it because I thought it was cool, and sometimes they are really cool, and unfortunately sometimes they're not very cool. Anyway, I'm genuinely hoping that we do have ourselves a pair, not just one wing, but a pair of models in here. If not, it's going to be a little bit awkward because it did turn up in some nice packaging. And yes, it is! Happy days! It is the tiny wing kit. Now, these turned up on Banggood quite a while ago, and I genuinely like the same company who makes these. I can't remember which company it is off the top of my head. The same company made another wing a short while back, and then never actually shipped it. And it never actually arrived. So it was very, very frustrating. So first look here, you're kind of getting the idea. It's not very big. And that's the thing, is that they are not very big at all. And so what do we actually get in this box? So first impressions, yes, well packed. Yeah, it should, in theory, make it through the post. That box was adequate, because we have had things here before which certainly have not been very adequate turning up in the post. Just going to have a look at the other one. So this is kind of a curious one, because I'm looking for something which I can throw around on 1S or 2S out the front of the garden. That would be the ultimate goal. Although I know full well some of you out there are definitely going to be setting these up for with sticking a little baby flight controller in there and really pushing the limits on what you can do with these models. Now, there's one glaringly obvious thing, and you may or may not be able to see this, is that there is definitely a difference in foam qualities between these two models. So the model on my left has issues, and the model on my right has definitely got better foam moulding. So this one on the left is very, very crinkly. It's like too much heat or not enough foam has gone into the mould. And can you see how wrinkly that is? It's not a very nice texture at all. Whereas that if we take a look at the other one, that is exactly what we would expect of EPO or EPP foam, a really nice smooth finish, and we definitely do not have that on one of them. So yeah, one of them is definitely a substandard compared to the other, and that's two in the same box. So yeah, very, very curious. Anyway, let's just get into this box and see what we got, and we'll work it. Ooh, we'll see what else we've got from here, and lots of goodies in here. Brilliant. Right, let's move those out of the way. Now, I think this cost me, in fact, I genuinely don't know how much this cost me, because I've frankly forgotten, because I did order it absolutely ages ago, and it was to the point that Banggood contacted me via an automated email saying, what would you like to do with your order? Do you want to hang on, or do you want it, or do you want a refund, basically? So I said, I'll hang on for another month. And now, probably about a month later, it has now been and turned up. Very, very dinky things we've got here. So we've got one set of fins, so we've got two sets of fins as well. So that's #2. So what have we got? We'll pick on the nicer one. I'm a bit disappointed about that, to be honest. Yeah, it's definitely not as good quality as the other one. So let's stay with the nicer one. Both the lids are okay. And yeah, wow, that is really, really dinky. I'm not entirely sure how this lid is supposed to be held down. We do have lines here, because in one of these bags we did have some, it looks like by 1x3 carbon strips. Yeah, that looks like carbon, which we've got there. So those would go down the wings to stiffen them up. I'm sure that would have a massive positive effect, especially on a tiny little model like that. So there's 4 pieces there, 2 for each model. There are spacings down here which look like they've been hot wire cut in there. Can you see the for the little servo holes, absolutely tiny. And yeah, I've got some 14, the servos which I'm intending to put in here are 1440A, and they're from Hobby King, and I've got some down there in my box, in my servos box, and I think they'll be ideal for this. They're perhaps not as small as what they could be for a model like this, but that's the ones I've got, so that's the ones which I'm going to use. So yeah, absolutely tiny. What's the wingspan on this? Let me just put this down on the desk to measure it. So 10, 20, 30, 43, yeah, 43 millimeter, yeah, 433 millimeters, 43 centimeters. So yeah, a couple of inches in short. It's absolutely tiny, to say the least. I'm guessing that those, oh, which way up do these go then? Oh, they go like that. Ah, right, okay. They go like that. There was no instructions in the box, which is no big surprise, to be frankly honest. And then we've got some fins which go in here somehow or another. Ah, like that. Like so. That's pretty cool. Yeah, right, what else have we got in this package? So there's the other lid. Oh, we've got a little motor mount cover. So I'm guessing that goes in there like that. Yeah, all pretty straightforward so far. Yeah, I was going to use a little tiny 1806 motor on this one. I've got some tiny, I do have some small motors. We'll see, probably not the ones which they're suggesting, and maybe also the motors which you're not going to be using, but like I said, I've waited so long for this one, I've kind of given... Oh, what the earth have we got in here? What have we got? Right. We got, what is it? We've got two funny bits of plastic. I have genuinely no idea what those are for. Doesn't even make sense. I'm sure it will do. Does it go around that way? I genuinely don't know what that's for. I really don't. The bit which has thrown me, because we've got two... I presume that's motor mounts which we've got in there. Two tiny little motor mounts with screws. We've got some magnets. Oh, look how small those control horns are. Absolutely tiny. Look how small they are. Oh, those control horns right down there. They're really, really small. Really, really tiny. And some magnets as well. That would make sense for the latch mechanism. A collection of little screws as well. Tiny, tiny little screws. What are they? M1.5, I'm guessing. And the curious one, which I was like, oh, what's that for? We have an LED board, which is very, very curious. Look, we have a pair of LEDs to go on the back of here. I'm somewhat bemused where we're supposed to put those, but hey ho. If I had some instructions, I'd read them, but that's my defence. Right, what else have we got in here? We got some black bits. I would guess that these are motor mounts. We've got loads and loads of propellers here in this box. Right, that kind of making sense now. So I am guessing that would be our motor mount like that. Yes, like that. That kind of makes sense. That looks like something which would go up underneath, which it is. I can get that the right way round. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So the glue which I'm thinking of using is Yoo-Hoo Pour. That's kind of a no-brainer. We got some plastic bits here which I'm guessing would need to go on these fins somehow. One way or another. I'll have a look at those later. Again, you're catching me. This is literally, I bought this blooming ages ago, and I'm just happy it's turned up, if I'm frankly honest. We do have a nice, oh, that's a nice idea, a little scuff plate up on the front. They have been and made this little hole, this tiny little hole up in the front for an FPV camera, I presume, a tiny little camera. So maybe that is the goal of using it for FPV. I'd probably set mine up for it as an all-in-one camera on the nose rather than having a separate transmitter and things like that. I think that for me would be the way to go. So we've got a bit of black piece up underneath, we've got a motor mount piece which goes there, we've got two skids which go in there. That looks like our motor mount of sorts which goes in there as well, and we've got some orange bits as well. So, the orange bits are, so we can have one black one and orange one. The orange bits are exactly the same bits just orange, if that makes sense. We've got 2 sets. And in the other bag as well, we got this funny plastic stuff, which is not entirely sure what that's for. What on earth is it for? I'll have a look on my phone in a moment. And we got a collection of 40-50 propellers, which are 3.8 by, it's hard to read on there to be honest. Yeah, 3.3 by 3. Very peculiar, tiny little propellers, which have been included as well. I do like those propellers. They do look absolutely fantastic. They are very, very well molded, and there's a collection of them in there. I don't know why they've sent us, what's that? 8 propellers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? 1. There's like 8 or 9 propellers in there for 2 models. Very, very peculiar. Right, what did I do with my phone? Because I am so curious to see what those funny plastic bits are, and B, also how much I actually paid for this, because one of them looks really good and the other one, the foam, is really horrible. Really, really, really horrible. So let's go into my accounts. Now, while I'm doing that a moment, do you want to let me know what your thoughts are on these pair of wings? It's not 1, it's actually 2 which have come in this kit. And you can do that down in the comments section underneath this video, because I would love to hear from you to see what you make of these 2 absolutely tiny little wings. What were they, 43 centimeters? Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Right, there it is. Where's the product? So I paid $33.99 plus shipping. Funny that, it's now, I paid $33.99 and it's now up on the Banggood site for £32.29. I'm not going to pass comment on that because I paid that in dollars. And it's 2 pieces, yeah, 450 by 431. Tiny little wings, absolutely tiny. What are we supposed to do? Yeah, there's the photo on there with the two different colours. I haven't seen what without the clear bits for just yet. That's why I'm here looking at the photos, because I just don't understand what the clear pieces is for. Oh! They're on the... Oh, right, okay. They're for... Oh, what are they? What are they for that? They're showing them. I'll show you. Look. There they are, you can see that, up underneath the wing to guard the servo. That is unique. Should we say unique? I think that's being quite polite. Interesting is another word which one could use. I don't know why you would be doing that. I don't think I'll be using them. So yeah, that's very peculiar. And what else they put on there? Yeah. It's as big as what they said with that photo. Yeah, very, very curious. So there you go, that is the KingKong. Let me get this right. That's the KingKong LDARC Tiny Wing. And yeah, absolutely sweet FA instructions. Not like I'd frankly read them anyway. You've seen what it's like here. Really don't pay much of that attention to instructions at all. I am a little bit worried if I have a motor small enough to go on the back of here. That said, it does look like really good fun, and it looks like it's going to be really straightforward to build. Alright, let me pause for a moment to think about this. I'm going to put, I've got a little tiny, not an 1806, it's a 1406 motor. I think that's what I'm going to put on the back of there with a little 12 amp ESC, and that little batch, that little bay there at the front. I've got these tiny, I'm wandering off now, I've got these tiny little 2S battery packs which I bought off Gearbest of all places, which I'm not particularly a fan of. And yeah, I reckon that would fit in there with a bit of fettling. Yeah, look at that, that will fit. Right, I've got some 400 milliamp here, 2S's with a little bit of adaptation. They'll fit in there. That would be fine for the FPV camera. We would, again, there's no CG marks on here at all, so I would guess the CG just looking at it. And by the way, there are online calculators which we could put in the width and the stretch and the depth of the thing. We can put in the measurements in and it would tell us. but I would say that the CG is probably around about here at the front of these two. That kind of feels about right. So by the time I've got a motor in the back and that nice big battery in the back, I know that nice big battery in the front, I know it's not super light, not perhaps what somebody else would do and set this up with maybe a smaller 2S battery pack, but those are the ones I've got, so that's what I'm going to be using. That will also be able to power the FPV camera and the servos and a little receiver in there. It could be really, really good fun. So that's what I'm going to do to begin with. Taking it a step further, you could very, very easily fit in there a tiny little 2x2 flight controller and stick iNav in there, or dare I say it, RG plane. I don't know why you would do that. Personal preference, I'd probably suggest iNav. There's no way you're going to fit an Eagle Tree Vector in that one. Just so that I was just saying we got vectors is, yeah, some might say the vector's a bit big to fit in here. If we take a closer look, yeah, that might be, some might say that's excessive to fit in there. Even the micro vector, which is just frankly an updated version in a peculiar format, would be too large for that. But yeah, a little tiny flight controller board, one of those 2x2 ones, would be absolutely perfect for this, because you only need three outputs, one for the motor, one for each servo, and it would take any waggle or any bumpiness, well, take the majority of the bumpiness out of it and make it a way more flyable model. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set one up just for 2S, fly around and see how we do. That means I can get the video out for you for the maiden of this an awful lot quicker, and then I think I'll go on and do an iNav version for Poots and Puddles, because yeah, in fact, what should I do? Yeah, I'm going to set this one up just for line of sight first. That way we get it so I can get a video of a maiden out and we can actually see what they fly like first, as fast as possible. And then with the second one, we'll set that one up for FPV, and we'll also stick an all-in-one camera in the front and a little flight controller, and stick iNav on it as well. I think that's the way forward. So yeah, they're on Banggood, and by the way, I'll put a link to these wings on Banggood for you. They were 32 quid a few minutes ago, as we saw. Remember, I did buy them months ago, before, literally the day they came out on pre-order, so keep that in the back of your mind. I'll put links to these in the video description. If you use one of those links, you will be supporting this channel. No extra cost to you, something remember I like to be 100% clear about. These were not sent to me as freebies for review, and I think I've now worked out a clear objective. We get one and we just make it fly, and then we soup up the other one with FPV and also a little flight controller. I think that's the way forwards. So that is the plan of attack. Yeah. So yeah, first impressions, really like that one, really don't like that one. That foam is frankly a complete letdown. It's like there's not been enough heat in, sorry, it looks like there's been too much heat and not enough foam gone in the mould on that one, which I'm frankly surprised is a really small, and that should have got rejected in quality control, and obviously didn't. Compared to that one, so much more nice, so much nicer. In fact, I might even, those of you which know me, I'm not a big fan of stickers, but a couple of stickers on there would definitely help, I think. So yeah, a little 450X on the side, I think that'd be pretty cool. Collection of little goodies in there, and the oddity in the box. There were two odd, well, these funny plastic things are just odd. I'm not going to save those, if I'm frankly honest. It's quite nice that we've got these little tiny LEDs in there. I think that is genuinely a nice touch. Whether I use them or not is a whole different question. And those propellers are very weird. Very weird, but actually moulded really nicely. I quite like the look of those. I wish I had more motors which took those on the top of them. So yeah, very, very curious to say the least. Although I think they sent me the ones which all go the wrong way. That's going the wrong way. That propeller's going the wrong way. Hang on, if they sent me lots of nice little propellers and they're all going the wrong way. Yeah, they're all spinning anti-clockwise. Yeah, all those propellers, every single one of them, sorry, is to be spun. Yeah, even that one's wrong. They're all going the wrong blooming way. So, let me explain. With fixed wing models, it doesn't matter if it's a pusher or a puller, if that makes sense, is that the propellers should be going anti-clockwise. as you look at them. So if you were looking at the front of a model right now and we had a tractor propeller, the propeller should be going anti-clockwise, and the same if it was on the rear, it should be going anti-clockwise as you look face on through the model to it. And they've actually sent me clockwise propellers. So yeah, while they might look really nice, that might catch me out. That may also catch you out as well, because you will have your thumbs dialed in, whether you know it or not, that when you accelerate, that you might put some trim into it, but manually counteract any motor torque. And of course, this is going to be torquing the opposite way. So you're expecting it to go one way, which is across to the right. So you're putting left into the model, left aileron or elevon into it, and actually you should be putting right into that. So that may catch me out at a later date. So that, yeah, that's a bit of an annoyance. So anyway, there you go. That is the KingKong LDARC 450X. Very, very curious. It's very so time for us to wrap up. First impressions, kind of like the kit, let down by that. A little bit perplexed by a few things. I'm sure we'll batter through it. Anyway, with that said, for myself, Matt, I sincerely hope that you found this video helpful. This is the first look at this pair of models which have been turned up. I definitely think the battle plan is line of sight and then FPV and iNav in that one. Do that one so we can go and see it first of all, and then see a third video. So we'll. By the way, if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to press the subscribe button underneath this video, and also so YouTube notifies you of the next update, don't forget to press the bell icon, because the next video could be the line of sight of Maiden of this one, and after that we'll set this one up for FPV and iNav, and the next video following that one could be the Maiden of that one, and we'll see how it does. Any questions or comments about, well, both these models, well, this model should I say, please just ask in the comments section underneath this video. And like I said at the very beginning, both of these models, both of them, were bought out of my own money for my own abuses. I bought them because I thought they were cool. I sincerely hope that they also turn out to be cool, because I've had small wings, and I've still got here somewhere, it's up there on the side, smaller wings which I fly at the front of my house, and they can be very, very good fun. Very, very good fun. This, with that little plastic piece up on the front, should make it a little bit tougher, especially for landing. These could turn out to be really good value for money, but I'm going to hold off on that judgment until we get one built, out and flying, and we see what it's like. So with that said, for myself, Matt, any questions or comments, ask in the comments section underneath this video. And it's time for me to go. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. From myself, Matt, cheerios!